Pennsylvania is full of surprises. While most people know about Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Hershey, some of the most incredible places in the state remain hidden from the spotlight. In this video, we're revealing 21 hidden gems in Pennsylvania that will leave you amazed. Some of these places are off the beaten path, while others are hiding in plain sight. But one thing's for sure, you're going to want to add these to your travel list. And make sure you stick around until the end, because number 1 is a place so unique, you'll have to see it to believe it. Let's get started. Number 21. Wehrum Ghost Town. Tucked away in Indiana County, Wehrum was once a bustling mining town in the early 1900s. It was built around the coal industry, with a population of over 1,000 people at its peak. The town had homes, a school, a church, and even a hotel. But when the coal mines shut down, the town's economy collapsed, and people started leaving. By the 1930s, Wehrum was completely abandoned. Today, all that's left are the crumbling foundations of buildings and deserted streets, slowly being reclaimed by nature. You can explore Wehrum by hiking the Ghost Town Trail, a scenic path that takes you through the remnants of this forgotten town. It's a quiet but eerie reminder of Pennsylvania's mining history. Number 20. Bilgers Rocks. Located in Clearfield County, Bilgers Rocks is a massive natural rock formation that's over 300 million years old. It's often called a rock city because of its towering sandstone formations, deep crevices, and narrow passageways that you can explore. The rocks were formed during the last ice age, shaped by erosion and weathering over millions of years. What makes Bilgers Rocks special is the network of caves, tunnels, and natural staircases hidden among the boulders. Visitors can walk through the cracks and crevices, discovering hidden chambers and moss-covered stones along the way. Some of the rocks are etched with carvings left by visitors from as far back as the 1800s. The area is also home to a rich ecosystem of ferns, moss, and wildlife. Local legends say that the rocks were once used by Native Americans for shelter and ceremonies, adding to the site's mystique. Today, Bilgers Rocks is a popular spot for hikers, rock climbers, and anyone looking for a peaceful connection with nature. It's open to the public year-round and maintained by the Bilgers Rocks Association, which occasionally hosts events and guided tours. Number 19. Austin Dam Ruins. Located in Potter County, the Austin Dam ruins are the remains of one of Pennsylvania's worst disasters. The Austin Dam was built in 1909 to provide water power to a nearby paper mill. But just 2 years later, in 1911, the dam collapsed after heavy rainfall, sending a powerful wave of water crashing into the town of Austin. The flood killed at least 78 people and destroyed most of the town. Today, the crumbling concrete walls of the dam still stand as a haunting reminder of the tragedy. Large chunks of the structure are tilted and cracked, surrounded by peaceful green fields and the winding Freeman Run Creek. Visitors can walk along the ruins and see the massive scale of the disaster firsthand. Despite its tragic history, the site is now part of the Austin Dam Memorial Park, which hosts events, concerts, and festivals throughout the year. The peaceful setting, with the ruins surrounded by tall trees and flowing water, creates a strange contrast between beauty and destruction. The Austin Dam ruins offer a unique blend of history, tragedy, and natural beauty, making it one of Pennsylvania's most interesting hidden gems. Number 18. Dead Man's Hollow. Hidden near McKeesport along the Youghiogheny River, Dead Man's Hollow is a 450-acre nature preserve with a dark past. In the late 1800s, this area was home to a bustling industrial site that included a brick factory and several small settlements. However, a series of tragic events gave the place its ominous name. Legend has it that a man was found hanging from a tree in the hollow in the early 1900s, and no one ever discovered how or why he died. After that, locals began referring to the area as Dead Man's Hollow. Over the years, there were reports of strange disappearances and ghostly sightings, which only fueled the area's dark reputation. Today, the factory is gone, but the stone ruins of the old brickworks remain hidden among the trees. Crumbling walls covered in ivy and graffiti give the area an eerie, post-apocalyptic feel. Visitors can explore more than 6 miles of hiking trails that wind through dense forest, passing by remnants of the industrial past and scenic river views. Dead Man's Hollow is also known for its rich wildlife, including deer, foxes, and over 100 species of birds. Despite its creepy reputation, the area is a peaceful and quiet escape into nature. Unless you believe the ghost stories. If you're enjoying this video so far, and want to know more hidden gems in Pennsylvania, we have a complete playlist for you. Make sure to watch that after this video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you can't miss any of our upcoming videos. Number 17. Hammersley Wild Area. Deep within the Susquehannock State Forest in Potter County lies the Hammersley Wild Area, Pennsylvania's largest roadless area, covering over 30,000 acres of untouched wilderness. Unlike most state parks and forests, there are no roads, no buildings, and no motorized vehicles allowed in Hammersley. This makes it one of the most remote and undisturbed natural areas in the state. Hammersley is a hiker's paradise. The area is known for its rugged terrain, with deep valleys, thick forests, and winding streams. The Twin Sisters Trail and the Hammersley Trail are two of the most popular hiking routes, offering challenging climbs and rewarding views of the forest canopy. What makes Hammersley truly special is its untouched beauty. It's one of the few places in Pennsylvania where you can experience complete silence. No cars, no machinery, just the sounds of nature. The area is home to diverse wildlife, including black bears, bobcats, deer, and wild turkeys. Camping is allowed, but you'll need to be self-sufficient since there are no facilities or cell service. Because of its remote location and rugged terrain, few people visit Hammersley Wild Area, which only adds to its mystique. Number 16. Bark Cabin Natural Area. Nestled in Lycoming County, Bark Cabin Natural Area is an 84-acre protected forest that feels like stepping back in time. It's one of the few remaining areas in Pennsylvania where you can see true old-growth forest. Some of the towering black cherry and aspen trees here are over 200 years old. Bark Cabin is part of the larger Loyalsock State Forest, but it stands out because of its untouched nature. Unlike other parts of the forest, Bark Cabin was never logged, which means the trees have grown naturally for centuries. Some of the black cherry trees reach heights of over 100 feet. The area is accessible by the Mid-State Trail, which winds through the dense forest and past moss-covered boulders and fallen logs. The trail is quiet and peaceful, with the sound of rustling leaves and birdsong filling the air. Wildlife thrives in Bark Cabin. It's common to spot deer, wild turkeys, and even the occasional black bear. The forest floor is blanketed with ferns and wildflowers in the spring and summer, creating a magical green tunnel effect along the trail. It's the perfect place to disconnect and experience Pennsylvania's natural beauty in its purest form. Number 15. Eckley Miners Village. Located in Luzerne County, Eckley Miners Village is a preserved 19th century coal mining town that gives you a glimpse into the tough lives of Pennsylvania's early coal miners. Founded in 1854, Eckley was built to house workers from nearby anthracite coal mines. Unlike most mining towns that were abandoned and left to decay, Eckley has been carefully preserved as a historical site. The town includes original houses, a company store, a church, and even a doctor's office, all restored to look as they did in the late 1800s. Eckley was almost lost to history in the 1960s until it became the filming location for the 1970 movie The Molly Maguires, starring Sean Connery. After the film wrapped, Pennsylvania decided to preserve the town as a living history museum. Today, visitors can walk along the dirt roads and explore the miners' homes, which are furnished with period-accurate tools, furniture, and artifacts. Guided tours provide insight into the brutal working conditions miners faced, including child labor, dangerous tunnels, and company-controlled housing. The village also hosts events like Patchtown Days, where reenactors bring the town to life, showcasing traditional music, cooking, and mining demonstrations. The stark contrast between the modest miners' homes and the wealth generated by the coal industry paints a powerful picture of Pennsylvania's industrial past. Number 14. Cherry Springs State Park. Located in Potter County, Cherry Springs State Park is one of the best stargazing spots in the world. It's part of an official international dark sky park, meaning it has some of the darkest skies on the East Coast, free from light pollution and perfect for viewing the night sky. What makes Cherry Springs special is its elevation and remote location. Sitting at over 2,300 feet above sea level and surrounded by the dense Susquehannock State Forest, it offers a clear, uninterrupted view of the stars. On a clear night, you can see over 30,000 stars, the Milky Way, and even planets with the naked eye. The park has an astronomy observation field equipped with concrete pads for telescopes and overnight viewing areas. Serious astronomers travel from all over the country to Cherry Springs because of the ideal sky conditions. The park also hosts night sky programs led by park rangers, where you can use high-powered telescopes to spot planets, galaxies, and nebulae. Even if you don't have a telescope, the view from Cherry Springs is breathtaking. The Milky Way stretches across the sky like a glowing ribbon, and during meteor showers, you can sometimes see dozens of shooting stars in a single night. Number 13. Rickets Glen State Park. Nestled in Sullivan County, Rickets Glen State Park is home to some of the most breathtaking waterfalls in Pennsylvania. The park's highlight is the Falls Trail, a 7.2-mile loop that takes you past 22 named waterfalls, each more beautiful than the last. The tallest waterfall, Ganoga Falls, stands at 94 feet, making it one of the highest in the state. The trail winds through a deep, forested gorge lined with ancient hemlock and oak trees. Moss-covered rocks, ferns, and wildflowers surround the waterfalls, creating a magical and almost otherworldly atmosphere. Rickets Glen wasn't always open to the public. In the early 1900s, it was privately owned by the Rickets family, who used it as a fishing and hunting retreat. The land was later turned over to the state, and it became a state park in 1942. Aside from the waterfalls, Rickets Glen also features Lake Jean, a 245-acre lake that's perfect for kayaking, fishing, and swimming. The park has campsites, cabins, and picnic areas, making it a great spot for both day trips and weekend getaways. Number 12. Kinzua Bridge State Park. Located in McKean County, Kinzua Bridge State Park is home to the remains of the Kinzua Viaduct, once one of the tallest and longest railroad bridges in the world. Originally built in 1882 and rebuilt in 1900, the bridge stretched 2,053 feet across the Kinzua Gorge and stood 301 feet tall, a true marvel of engineering at the time. For decades, trains carried coal and lumber across the viaduct, but in 2003, a powerful tornado tore through the gorge and destroyed much of the structure. Several towers collapsed, leaving behind a twisted, broken section of the bridge. Instead of removing the wreckage, the state decided to preserve it as part of the park's history. Today, the surviving portion of the bridge has been turned into the Kinzua Skywalk, a glass-floored observation deck that extends 600 feet out over the gorge. Standing on the glass panels, you can look straight down at the collapsed towers below and the forest floor over 300 feet below you. The views of the gorge and surrounding mountains are breathtaking, especially in the fall when the leaves are changing colors. The park also features several hiking trails that take you through the forest and down into the gorge, where you can see the fallen towers up close. The Kinzua Creek Trail is the most popular route, offering a moderate hike with incredible views of the bridge ruins. Number 11. The Haynes Shoe House. Located in York County, the Haynes Shoe House is one of Pennsylvania's most quirky and unique attractions. Built in 1948 by Marlon Haynes, a local shoe salesman known as the Shoe Wizard of York, the house was designed to look like an enormous shoe as a clever advertisement for his successful shoe business. The shoe house stands 25 feet tall and 48 feet long, with 5 levels of living space inside. It includes 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a living room, all designed with a shoe theme. The stained glass windows even feature shoe designs. Marlon Haynes didn't actually live in the house himself. Instead, he used it as a vacation home for lucky couples and employees of his company. He wanted the house to be a fun and light-hearted place where people could enjoy themselves. Today, the shoe house is open for public tours. Visitors can explore the interior, learn about the history of the house, and see original furnishings and memorabilia from the 1940s and 1950s. The house also features a gift shop and a small ice cream stand, because why not have ice cream inside a giant shoe? Number 10. Gravity Hill. Located near Bedford in south-central Pennsylvania, Gravity Hill is one of the strangest and most mind-bending places in the state. It's a spot where the laws of physics seem to be turned upside down, quite literally. At Gravity Hill, if you put your car in neutral at the bottom of the hill, it will appear to roll uphill on its own. Water also seems to flow uphill, and even balls or other round objects will mysteriously move in the opposite direction of the slope. Locals have known about Gravity Hill for decades, and it's become a popular roadside attraction. Many visitors believe it's an optical illusion caused by the surrounding landscape. The road is actually sloped slightly downhill, but the way the horizon and tree line appear makes it look like it's going uphill, creating a visual trick that confuses the brain. Number 9. Ringing Rocks Park. Hidden in Bucks County, Ringing Rocks Park is one of the most unusual natural wonders in Pennsylvania. It's a 128-acre park filled with a massive field of boulders. But these aren't just any ordinary rocks. When you strike them with a hammer or another hard object, they produce a metallic, bell-like sound, almost like a ringing bell. Scientists have studied the rocks for decades, but no one knows exactly why they ring. The boulders are made of diabase, a type of volcanic rock, but not all diabase rocks produce sound. Some experts believe the unique tones are caused by the stress and pressure the rocks experienced when they formed millions of years ago. Others think it's due to the internal structure of the rocks and the way sound waves travel through them. The boulder field covers about 7 acres, and visitors are encouraged to bring a hammer or a rock to test out the ringing effect themselves. Some rocks produce low, deep tones, while others give off high-pitched sounds. The experience feels like standing in the middle of a natural xylophone. Number 8. Archbald Pothole State Park. Located in Lackawanna County, Archbald Pothole State Park is home to one of the most unusual geological formations in the United States. A massive glacial pothole formed during the last ice age over 20,000 years ago. The pothole was discovered in 1884 by miners who were blasting through rock. They had no idea they were about to uncover one of the largest known glacial potholes in the world. The pothole measures 38 feet deep and 42 feet wide, large enough to hold 140,000 gallons of water. The formation was created when melting glacial water created powerful whirlpools, which picked up rocks and debris and carved the hole into the bedrock. The swirling action of the water and debris smoothed out the walls of the pothole, creating its circular shape. Today, Archbald Pothole State Park is a quiet spot that attracts geology buffs and curious visitors alike. A short walking trail leads to the viewing platform overlooking the pothole, where you can take in the scale of this natural wonder. Informational signs explain the science behind the formation and the history of its discovery. Before moving to the next section, let us know, which of these hidden gems would you want to visit first? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Number 7. Penn's Cave. Located in Center County, Penn's Cave is the only cave in the United States that you can tour completely by boat. It's a limestone cavern that's over 30 million years old, filled with stunning stalactites, stalagmites, and crystal formations. According to legend, the cave was discovered by the Seneca people centuries ago. The story goes that a Seneca princess named Nittany, after whom nearby Nittany Mountain is named, fell in love with a French settler named Malachi Boyer. Her tribe disapproved of the relationship, so Malachi was imprisoned in the cave, where he eventually died. Today, visitors can explore Penn's Cave on a guided boat tour. The tour takes you through narrow passageways and large caverns, where you'll see formations with names like the Statue of Liberty and the Garden of the Gods. The cave is also home to an underground stream, where you can see trout swimming beneath the clear water. Penn's Cave is surrounded by Penn's Cave Wildlife Park, where you can take a safari-style tour to see bison, elk, wolves, and other native animals. There's also a maze and a gift shop on site. The cave maintains a steady temperature of 52 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, making it a perfect place to cool off on a hot day. Whether you're interested in geology, history, or just want a unique experience, Penn's Cave is one of Pennsylvania's most fascinating hidden gems. Number 6. Pennsylvania Lumber Museum. Tucked away in Ulysses, the Pennsylvania Lumber Museum is a tribute to the state's once booming lumber industry. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, Pennsylvania was one of the largest producers of lumber in the country, thanks to its vast forests of white pine and hemlock. At its peak, the state produced enough lumber to build a boardwalk around the earth, twice. The museum is set up like a historic lumber camp, giving visitors a glimpse into the lives of the lumberjacks who worked in these forests. It features a recreated sawmill, a log cabin, and even a locomotive used to haul timber through the mountains. The museum's exhibits showcase the logging tools and techniques used in the 1800s, including two-man crosscut saws, axes, and early chainsaws. There are also displays explaining how the lumber industry shaped the state's economy and how overlogging led to severe deforestation by the early 1900s. One of the most fascinating parts of the museum is the steam-powered sawmill, which is still operational during special demonstrations. You can watch logs being cut using the same methods that were used over a century ago. Number 5. Colum Megalith Park. Hidden in Bangor, Colum Megalith Park is a mystical and peaceful place inspired by ancient Celtic traditions. The park was founded in 1975 by William Cohea, who was inspired by a trip to the Isle of Iona in Scotland, a place known for its spiritual energy and ancient stone formations. Cohea wanted to recreate that same sense of peace and connection to nature in Pennsylvania. The park covers 20 acres and is filled with over 80 large stone structures, including standing stones, stone circles, and other formations designed to reflect ancient Celtic traditions. The tallest stone, known as Thor's Gate, stands over 20 feet tall and is said to be a portal between the physical and spiritual worlds. Visitors are encouraged to explore the park quietly and reflect on the natural and spiritual energy of the space. There are several walking paths that wind through the trees and meadows, passing by carefully placed stones and meditation areas. Benches are scattered throughout the park for visitors to sit and take in the peaceful atmosphere. Number 4. Lost Children of the Alleghenies Monument. Hidden deep in the Allegheny Mountains of Bedford County lies a heartbreaking memorial known as the Lost Children of the Alleghenies Monument. This monument tells the tragic story of two young brothers, Joseph Cox, aged 5, and George Cox, aged 7, who wandered away from their home in April 1856 and were never seen alive again. The boys left their house to follow the sound of a hunting horn. After realizing the boys were missing, the entire community searched for them for days, but without success. Their fate remained a mystery until a local man named Jacob DeBert had a vivid dream about the boys' location. DeBert described seeing the boys curled up near a fallen tree and a stream deep in the woods. Following the details of the dream, DeBert led a search party to the spot, and tragically, they found the boys' bodies exactly where he had seen them in his dream. They had died from exposure to the cold. In 1910, the community erected a stone monument at the site where the boys were found. The monument includes a simple engraving of the boys' names and the story of their tragic end. Today, a short hiking trail leads to the monument through a peaceful wooded area. Visitors often leave small toys, coins, and flowers at the base of the monument as a tribute to the boys. Despite the sadness of the story, the area feels calm and quiet, almost like a place frozen in time. Number 3. The Gravity Railroad. Located near Jim Thorpe in Carbon County, the Gravity Railroad in Mount Pisgah was once one of the most important transportation systems in Pennsylvania. Built in the 1820s, it was one of the earliest railroads in the United States, originally designed to transport coal from the mines of Summit Hill to the Lehigh Canal. What made the Gravity Railroad unique was its gravity-powered system. The cars would travel downhill using only the force of gravity, reaching speeds of up to 50 miles per hour. To get back uphill, the cars were pulled by a steam-powered cable system, a major engineering feat for the time. At its peak, the gravity railroad transported thousands of tons of coal each day and became a model for future rail systems. By the late 1800s, it had also become a popular tourist attraction, with people riding the railway just for the thrill of the high-speed downhill trip. The gravity railroad was eventually replaced by more modern transportation methods and was closed in 1931. But today, the old railway path has been turned into a scenic hiking and biking trail. The Switchback Railroad Trail follows the original route of the Gravity Railroad through forests, along mountain ridges, and past scenic overlooks. Number 2. The Abandoned Turnpike. Hidden near Breezewood, the Abandoned Turnpike is one of Pennsylvania's most eerie and intriguing hidden gems. It's a 13-mile stretch of the original Pennsylvania Turnpike that was abandoned in 1968 after the construction of a more modern route. The turnpike includes 2 large tunnels, the Sidling Hill Tunnel, 1.2 miles long, and the Rays Hill Tunnel, 0.7 miles long, both of which were considered engineering marvels when they were built in the 1940s. However, the narrow 2-lane design caused major traffic issues as car and truck sizes increased, which eventually led to the decision to bypass this section of the turnpike. After it was abandoned, the road and tunnels were left to decay. Over the years, nature began to reclaim the area. Grass and moss now grow through cracks in the pavement, and graffiti covers the tunnel walls. The site has become a popular spot for urban explorers, hikers, and bikers. Number 1. Thousand Steps Trail. Located in Huntingdon County, the Thousand Steps Trail is one of Pennsylvania's most challenging and rewarding hikes. The trail consists of 1,043 stone steps that climb up the side of Jack's Mountain, originally built in the 1930s by quarry workers who used the steps to reach a silica mine near the top of the mountain. The hike is steep and demanding, but the steps are surprisingly well preserved. Along the way, you'll pass through a dense forest of oak and hickory trees, with the sounds of birds and rustling leaves adding to the peaceful atmosphere. About halfway up, you'll find remnants of the old quarrying equipment and stone foundations from the mining days. Interpretive signs along the trail provide insight into the area's mining history and the workers who built and used the steps. The real reward comes at the top. Once you reach the summit, you're treated to a breathtaking panoramic view of the Juniata River Valley and the surrounding mountains. The view is especially stunning in the fall, when the hills are covered in vibrant shades of red, orange, and yellow. The steps are tough, but they're manageable with breaks. Hikers of all skill levels attempt the trail, but it's best to take your time and pace yourself. There are stone benches along the way, where you can stop to rest and enjoy the view.